If I were to ask you who is stronger, Ghostface or Legion, which answer would you give me? Two killers I would consider to be around C tier and also killers that I like to play. But I want to compare both killers as they suffer from the same problems and are actually way more similar than you might think. In this video I'm going to be talking about their powers and what they're good at, compare them both, and then I'll give my opinion on which one I think is stronger, and then finally at the end of the video I'm going to dissect exactly why they are weak and what buffs they need to be in a better spot. Now let's get into the video. Make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 10K. Is it Ghostface or Ghostfaces? Ghostface's power is to enter stealth and stalk survivors, and when they're fully stalked, you can down them with one hit, not needing to hit them twice. Sounds pretty broken if you ask me, but he can be pulled out of stealth by staring at him. He gets a little shy. Legion's power is they enter the feral frenzy, and they run fast, can vault pallets and windows, and they slash you with their knife. Pretty much, that's it. And doing so puts the survivor in mending, which means they gotta put their imaginary guts back in their body, and it'll let Legion see other survivors nearby. And if Legion does get 4 hits, they can instantly down on the 5th hit. Also sounds pretty broken, but we'll talk about that later. When we compare them, they are actually kind of similar. Both of their powers allow them to basically just insta-down thanks to their powers. The only difference is Legion's first hit is the most free and unavoidable hit in the whole game, but Ghostface has to stalk and make them one shot and then has a timer to do so. But in return for having a little bit of effort to stalk and down them, he does have really good stealth, allowing him to straight up just murk survivors that are in bad spots. So essentially both of their powers leaves the survivors one shot, but one is actually free and the other one takes a little bit of effort, but you have the element of surprise. Once you look at it, they are more alike than you think. I mean, they are kind of just like regular people, so although their powers do almost the same thing, they do play completely differently, obviously. Legion's job is to hit every survivor with feral frenzy and make them spend time healing all game. And survivors panic and make mistakes when they're injured too, when they're trying to loop you, so it's a good thing to have every survivor injured for free. Ghostface's job is to stalk survivors, so he can basically just sneak up to everyone and just one-shot them. And the combo of being one-shot and not knowing if the killer is near you as a survivor can lead to you making some bad mistakes. And if Ghosty gets a few good stalks, he can snowball a game if the survivors do play poorly. Legion has a bunch of cool add-ons that make his feral frenzy more dangerous, like if you run by yourself you can't heal for a minute or you can't see anything, gives the Legion wall hacks, makes them faster, a bunch of decent and cool add-ons. Ghostface has a bunch of add-ons. My opinion on who's better is where this video gets a little maniacal. You guys like the vocabulary? Legion has a guaranteed first hit, causing every survivor to be injured almost the whole game, wasting time of survivors, making them heal instead of doing gens. They even get an opportunity to down a survivor for free if they get all 4 hits. And a bunch of survivors panic when they're injured, so they make mistakes against this killer, like wasting too much time healing or panicking in chase, not doing gens pretty much. That's what this killer does. Ghostface has good stealth, which he can use to stalk survivors, which means he can basically one-shot survivors the whole game with decent stalks. He can also crouch, which does make him harder to spot. That is about it though. So Legion has a free first hit and a built-in insta-down. Ghostface has stealth and a built-in insta-down. Very similar effects, but different ways to achieve them. It's like poetry. I can't really say which one is better as of right now, so let's look at...
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Now we're at the part of the video that'll give me my opinion on who's better. The main reason why they suck is they don't have anything to actually get the down on the survivor that is one shot. And they are really bad against decent teams of survivors. Yeah, the Legion has an insta-down after getting 4 hits, but against decent survivors, they will split up. Meaning to get everyone injured, it'll take you 2 years to even reach all 4 survivors. And survivor splitting up just denies you your 4 frenzy hits to get that insta-down, so Legion speed is literally just not enough to catch up to all of the survivors. So the insta-down rarely ever happens unless you fully commit a build for it. Other than that, Legion's an M1 killer with absolutely no power in chase. When Ghostface stalks you, if you have even the slightest clue of where he is, or you see him as he stalks you, he's still an M1 killer with absolutely no power in chase. Yeah, they can get you one shot, but they are 2 of the weakest killers in chase. So weak that a toddler can outplay them. Just give them windows of opportunity. What's the point in having a one shot if they can stall you for long enough to where their teammates get the whole objective done? These killers have no way to play around pallets or windows other than like basic M1 one-on-one killer mind games, which aren't gonna be 100% in your favor, especially if you go against some crack survivors. I don't know how it's like they read your fucking mind. God pallets hurt, safe pallets hurt, even decent pallets hurt. But with most other killers, there are ways to play around them. The reason why these two suck is because no down is ever guaranteed no matter how good you are if the survivors are even like remotely decent. Not only that, but good survivors will stay injured against Legion and just gen rush you. Cause why would I heal against you? You have no anti-loop. I'm not scared of being one shot while looping a trapless trapper, bro. Who do you think I am? And with Ghostface, as I said, if you have even the slightest clue of which direction he's coming from, or he gets one of the 10 maps that just counter him, even if he exposes you, you're still looping a trapless trapper. Only thing that makes him better is that he won't have a red stain during chase if he does mark you, so sometimes he can mind game you like very easily without needing to try to hide his red stain. But that is what makes these characters bad. Lack of pressure while in chase and on a team. Now for my favorite part of the video. Now before I start explaining anything, let me say the answer isn't just to give every killer crazy mobility or a teleport, but in my opinion, what makes a non-mobility killer strong in chase is just their power. Their power is really strong. The best killers I could think about that go by this rule is like Pyramid Head, no map mobility, no information, just insanely strong anti-loop and an ability that can pressure multiple survivors. Like look at Wesker, he doesn't have insane mobility or a teleport or setup or even free hits, but his power is pretty strong in chase and puts pressure on the team by being able to switch targets fast. His spray bottle slowdown helps out. It makes him real solid. So why am I bringing up Pyramid Head and Wesker? Because these killers don't have insanely long, fast, unreactable dashes with insane mobility and a teleport. Just amazing in like one area and like decent in like another one or two areas. And that's the case for Ghostface and Legion, just not in the areas where it matters. Now let's get into what I suggest would be the best buffs for these killers to be decent, starting with Legion. Legion isn't a killer that gets neglected. They're actually fairly popular. They did have a power rework that made their power way better and add-on buffs that made them better not that long ago. Even when the Ghoul came out, they still got slightly better. There's only one change I think they need to push them in the right direction. Let's look at one of my favorite killers to play, my auntie with a Pitbull. Notice how when auntie finishes using her power or even canceling it, she almost instantly starts moving at normal speed. This is something that projectile killers never have, and that's one reason why auntie feels so much better to play than other projectile killers like Deathslinger. Even looking at Kaneki, when he dashes and cancels his power, look how fast Kaneki reaches normal speed. Like what? That's one of the reasons why Kaneki feels so hard to outplay, because he can dash, slide, and reach full speed instantly after canceling his power. Whereas with Legion, even though he doesn't have map-wide mobility, he takes longer to reach full speed. So Legion currently moves at 2.3 meters per second for 2.5 seconds while canceling his power. And I couldn't find the exact number of Kaneki's movement speed when he cancels his power, but my guess is like 2 meters per second, and it ramps up to full speed after like 0.75 seconds of that time. Some shit like that. I don't know. Guys, I've never done this before. I'm just guessing. But giving Legion even a speed of like 3.0 would make enough sense and help him during chase just a little bit. Again, my suggestion isn't supposed to make them insanely OP or even A tier. It's just to make them slightly better and push them in the right direction. After hitting 2 survivors with my power, I should be able to catch up to the second one and cancel my power and get the down if they play a loop poorly or run into a dead zone, so I can then cancel my power, catch up before they make another loop. Right now, that is literally impossible when you play Legion. They're gonna make another loop no matter what. Effectively making them less like Ghostface and slightly more similar to Kaneki, which is everything Legion has ever wanted to be, and still they wouldn't be OP in chase, just slightly better. You don't want to just buff the Feral Frenzy speed like crazy, because then the 5th hit insta-down is literally uncountable, and then this killer's top 1 in the game. But making their power more usable around loops is what they need. Now for Ghostface, the thing that makes Ghostface bad is also that he just has nothing in chase, but there's a very simple fix for that. Obviously his add-on that gives him haste after a mark needs to be base kit and needs to last slightly longer, or just make the add-on base kit and then keep this add-on the way it is, just make the haste stronger or something. So even if a survivor runs or is in a loop, you are actually a threat for a little bit, you know, like you're actually somewhat scary. This just makes him stronger in the beginning, but in my opinion, Ghostface needs buffed differently also. A slight rework to his power. Instead of giving all M1 killers just a base get 20% haste, which is very boring, instead make their power just strong enough to pressure a whole team. Pinhead has no mobility whatsoever, yet he has the tools to pressure a whole team by finding and defending his box. Pyramid Head has zero mobility, but his power is strong enough in chase. He can hit multiple survivors, and his cages save him time, crucial time, to pressure gens. Artist, no mobility, but has the tools to not only shut down loops, but pressure survivors across the map. Huntress, no mobility, has a chance to shred 7 health states in 10 fucking seconds. And that's the treatment Ghostface should be getting with his power. My suggestion, other than the haste being base kit, is whenever he downs a marked survivor, all other survivors gain more stock to their mark meter. 50% sounds perfect, but once it's at 50%, it can't go over. So if you are at, like, let's say 40% stocked, and then I downed a marked survivor, it would make you shoot up to 50, not add 50. Let me go into slightly more detail. It takes 100 stock points to be marked by Ghostface and be one shot. Stalking while standing still is like 20 stock points per second, and revealing him takes 1.5 seconds. So if you're at 50% stalked, he can't just walk upon you, mark you instantly, and down you. If he tried to do this, he would have to leave you around 80% stalked. So if downing a marked survivor makes you 50% marked, he still has to sneak around and earn his mark somewhat. It'll just be not so easy to deal with. Gives him opportunities to get downs when it matters and pressure a whole team. And while every survivor is half marked, it's easier to mark survivors, which means you'll get more base kit haste at the beginning of chases, and the survivors just need to play smarter and can't play in dead zones. The only reason Ghostface hasn't really been buffed is because since he's a stealth killer, he's actually somewhat decent against solo queue survivors. We all know how fucking terrible solo queue teammates can be sometimes. Same thing with Legion, but against decent survivors, you'll feel how powerless these killers like actually are, low-key. So back to where I was. For Legion, make them walk way faster while canceling their power. For Ghostface, add base kit haste when marking survivors, and add stock to the mark meter to other survivors when a marked survivor gets down. These are the only changes I think they need to be pushed in the right direction. Do they make them meta A tier? No, they don't, but it makes them stronger in areas that I think they might need buffed. But who do I think is stronger overall? Overall, I gotta give it to Legion, as you benefit from survivors being injured even if they are on gens, whereas for Ghostface, you don't benefit at all from having a survivor not stalked on a gen. So it's either you play Ghostface, 3 healthy survivors are on gens and you're chasing one that is one shots, or you play Legion, there's 3 injured survivors on a gen and you're chasing a survivor who is one shots. Plus Legion has way better add-ons, Ghostface only has a few, so yeah, I definitely think Legion is the stronger character just by a little bit. Now with this video, my goal isn't to make them top 10 killers, just my suggestions on how to push their power to be stronger, just in the right direction. You don't want to over buff a killer in the wrong area. That's how you get the clown effect. But I'm not insanely downplaying these killers, I want you guys to know that. With the right perks and add-ons, these fillers can feel like true powerhouses in certain circumstances. These killers are decent against solo queue and not so good survivors, but even against decent ones, you will feel how much they actually do suck. And just so you guys know, this is for fun. These changes aren't being sent to behavior headquarters where they can just implement it. That's never gonna happen, so don't take this video too seriously down in the comments below. As I said, these killers aren't insanely underpowered, they are unplayable. Perks, add-ons, maps, solo queue, you know, these kind of things work in the killer's favor. These killers are not unplayable. Well, I don't know. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and I do hope you guys did enjoy this video and you walk away with something. What buffs would you have for like Legion, Ghostface, Trapper? What buffs would you have for killers like that? Alright, now I'm procrastinating, I need a video. Anyways, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a good day.